Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, testing, testing 1, 2. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Hooray, we are working. Okay, so welcome to our new market analysis. I'm trying to get this to work right. Open up the sharing of the screen. All right, so today's stream, I'm a little better prepared with the stuff I'm about to show you. Okay, so let me hop on over to the board here, analytics dashboard, and let's go through stuff. Okay, I went through my Bloomberg today to just see what's going on in the markets before I make any commentary. So yes, thank you for watching. Hello, how are you? I'll from time to time be checking back on my live chat here, so bear with me. Okay, so let's talk about the asset class. There's no action in, nothing. One of the high ups in BitMEX said, well, we may be in a bear market with crypto for about 18 months. The way it's going, I'll have to agree. Just so that we understand stuff, this exact same pairs, cryptocurrency pairs that I talked about yesterday, we are seeing some better percent changes. Let me just check on this. So we have WAN at 12, 10, BAT, Steam at 7. So things are looking better. As I said yesterday, that's a good sign. We're getting some wider intraday percent changes. The moves are looking better. So I'll be improving this strategy as time passes. So let's go over to our CFD, see what's going on over there. I've got a solution for what I reported yesterday, and I'll talk about that in a minute as it comes up. All right, so if I look at the really big movers, we have the same ones that we've seen yesterday. We have UK 10-year, the gold against silver ratio I talked about, the German Bund, the oil, Brent crude, UK top 100, sugar, and platinum. Nothing has changed. The other thing you may want to look at are these percentages. They're not as high as they used to be. And the other thing is to check out the amount of negative movers against the positive movers. So that is something that does not look too good for this asset class, the CFDs. So as part of my solution, because I know I looked at the watch list for the CFDs, you'll notice here that everything stays the same, nothing changes. What I reported yesterday, the moves are so little, the volume is tiny. So the question comes back, do I allow these typical instruments to distort really what's going on in this asset class? Meaning I should remove all of the lower volume instruments from the overall list that I watch to prevent things from being distorted. Only focus on the ones that have higher volume. I'm looking at, as an example, to drop the bottom third from this list, the bottom third from this chart, so on and so forth, so we can get proper analysis done. I'll probably keep everything in place in the ranking file. The volume is not really a big deal. And that's kind of a solution I'm looking at. Okay, so let me just go over to the chat. There's no questions on that, no problem. Okay, let's go on over to the Forex is the really, really interesting one. There seems to be some signs of life, but when you look at the movers for Forex, it's quite interesting. Okay, today would be nice. Thank you. Okay, so these are the big movers. And this I find quite interesting regarding the asset class here. Okay, finally. So here, up until a point, we always knew that Turkey lira was always one of the big movers. What I'm finding now is when you look at the top 10, it's Australia, New Zealand, Australia, New Zealand, and Australia once again, okay? And right now it's 3:30 my time, Eastern Standard, so it's got nothing to do with timing in the markets, okay? I'm kind of wondering about that, but I'll check it out again maybe tonight, do another video. But here's what I found. When you look for news, Australia, New Zealand dollar, to see what's going on with this, Australia, New Zealand, why they're top movers, I did a search, came across this article here, and voila, we have some interesting correlation going on. Australian dollar jumps on bumper trade surplus, and New Zealand dollar firmer. So these are now solid news that we can potentially link to why certain pairs become top movers. So when you look in this article, and again, this is from, what's the name? The Business Times. So the businesstimes.com.sg out of Singapore. You can see here that third quarter surplus, Australian $64.4 million, 3 times the size of the second quarter. That's very positive news for the Australian dollar. So I'm starting to think, well, maybe that's one of the big reasons why this became a top performer. So that's all fine and good. $1 trillion has expanded 27 years without a recession, blah, blah, blah. Good thing for Australia, right? So then we come across the Tasmanian Sea, New Zealand dollar jumped 0.6% from Tuesday, but started November on a firm footing. Gains in the Kiwi came amid broader U.S. dollar selling after report and Brexit, Dollars index eased 0.3% from a 16-month high following strong economic data. New Zealand government bonds eased, selling yields about 2 to 3% points higher across the curve. And here it also concludes, Australian government bonds slip with 3-year bond contract and the 10-year contract down 3 ticks each at 97,920, 97,335. Okay, so when you look at that, you look at, well, let's do a search on Oanda calendar events. This is 2 things that we can take because we're using Oanda. First thing is the calendar here under this title, Market Pulse, which is owned by Oanda, economic events right here. So when you factor in these economic events, they seem to have a potential to make and have a positive impact on those currencies. So here we have some Australian news. We have Germany, and then China, and so on. I'm going to keep an eye on this to see how it may impact the overall news events, how they impact those currencies and other currencies that trade along with it. So here we have a scale. It looks like the importance, according to this volume here, the importance of these economic events. Okay, so I'm going to be tracking that. So I think that's pretty important because I've always had this working theory. That's what can move these currencies. On top of that, we just learned something now. We have economic event overlay. And this is using the Oanda FX trade software. And watch for important economic announcements that could affect your Forex and CFD trading strategies. from within the desktop public platform. So right here, economic events that are marked in a time bar at the bottom of the rate graph with a flag corresponding to the country or region. Hover over flags to see a brief description of event, or click on a flag to view details in a separate news tab. I think this is kind of important because I'm gonna do an analysis on that using the FX Trade software maybe later today, just to see if that working theory may hold. I'll be tracking that, so I just wanted to put all that out there. And let me see if there's any following comments. No, 2 people watching. Appreciate it. I'm going to leave it at that. And I'll probably report back with some other fun stuff as well in other live streams. But one thing I should say to anybody watching YouTube, YouTube's not the greatest platform to do live streams on, just due to the fact of the whiners and the complainers looking for free information. I don't have that problem on Facebook, so I will just put out, I don't know, a warning or something. You know, I don't need to deal with that because I'm putting out this info for free. Want to dislike videos, it's up to you. I don't care. But I will say this, I don't have these problems on Facebook, and I can probably get better traction on Facebook. And I just learned last Friday, that Facebook has now higher video plays on Facebook versus YouTube, which means also higher engagement. So maybe YouTube is a dying audience. I don't know. So I may just move over to Facebook on my page at QuantLabs.net for these to get better interactivity. And actually, I might test it out as well and just see what happens. Okay, so that's about it. And we shall end it here. Talk to you later. Oh, let me just check the no commentary. Okay, later.